Sláinte and how do you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? As we inch ever so close to St. Patrick's Day, we are getting closer. Make sure everything's working here. Yep. You can hit the link there. It'll take you right to me. Anyways, anyways, again, how the heck are you? Here's what I got here. I decided to get that to stay. There we go. Got the Turkano. I picked this up. I opened it up about a week ago as a prelude to St. Patrick's Day. Just poured one more little bit out of it. It's a double distilled single malt Irish whiskey. This is a 10-year-old port cask finish. Let me show you that bottle. It is at the board. The light here isn't great. It's at 92 proof, which is nice. I like the most single malt Irish like to stay about 80. There are some exceptions, but they're not always easy to find. I was glad to find this one when I did. Oh, mercy, that is nice. That aroma. You really feel that port cask finish. It is very nice. I was planning on getting my At the Pub show going again, and it was going to be tonight. I had a guest lined up and everything. But I just finalized everything, and just minutes after that happened, I got a message from my boss asking me if I would trade shifts with a coworker and work tonight instead of tomorrow. So, well, then I've got to. I said yes. I mean, having to do a podcast didn't seem to be a good enough excuse not to. And we're a small operation, so there wasn't really another option. So I try to be agreeable most of the time because they're very good folks to work for. So anyway, I was planning on getting that going tonight, but due to circumstances, it didn't work out that way. So I'm shooting for next week. I was going to see if I could line something up for tomorrow and do it tomorrow, but it was just too late to really get another guest going. And I have a friend, I don't want to say anything, that's debuting a new show tomorrow, so didn't want to line mine up as well. So I'm hoping for next Wednesday. Hopefully I can get that same guest on for next Wednesday. And that'll be the goal to do it every Wednesday from 6 to 7. Or I'm not sure if I want to do 6 to 7 standard time or 7 to 8. That's still kind of up in the air. And the first show, I'm really going to just kind of depend on the guest. If the later time works better for them, that's fine too. Oh man, that is delectable. Oh man, that is good. That's tasty, man. I don't care who you are. That's good right there. Anyway, I was gonna grab a bite on the way home. I was gonna just put in an order at Taco Bell and pick it up, but for some reason it wouldn't finalize the order. So I said, "Screw it, just come on home." And yeah, quite frankly, I'm probably better off for Taco Bell late at night. I always regret it the next day. I saw that was a really bad idea. And especially for my wife, it's usually about 3 in the morning when everything starts to work. If you're following me, I mean, I could be registered as a chemical weapon. I mean, it's that bad. It's that bad, man. I can kill brain cells like you're dead. Yeah, man, I can knock out some gas like you've never. Yeah. Anyway, there's a little background going on. I kind of like it. That's kind of nice little fire there. You can see a little, like there's some bottles and stuff in the background. That's kind of neat. I'll use that one today. Yesterday I had, or day before, maybe I was using some leprechauns. And I found a leprechaun party, so that was kind of neat. I try to find these things, I guess, as we get closer to St. Patrick's Day. I try to be festive. I got my shirt on here. I I played the Irish music all day Monday, so I gave everybody a little break today. Because Friday when I go in, it'll be Irish all day long. So I'll be in full on St. Patrick's Day by Friday. Oh yeah, oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, babe. But if I treat myself to one nice pour of the Turkano, and I'll put it back away, and I won't see it again until, well, probably not Friday. I'll probably wait till Saturday. I may do a late night Friday, but it's really hard to tell. It's going to be a long day. We'll see. May ought to save it for Saturday and Sunday. Plan on cooking my corned beef Saturday. That way I've got the leftovers to eat Sunday. That way Sunday, St. Patrick's Day, I can have some corned beef hash for breakfast. Who doesn't want that? Some homemade corned beef hash. I'm not talking out the can, man. Oh, no. I'm talking real stuff. The real stuff. If there's anything wrong with out of the can, to be honest with you, sometimes that's kind of comfort food for me, to be honest. That right out of the can, man. Fry it up nice. Put an over medium or a poached egg on top, whichever you prefer. It's usually just easier for me to do an over medium, and I like that just as well, if not better, to be honest with you. But either one works for me. Hot sauce of choice, you know. Let me show you this bottle one more time on this Turkano. I've got the thingy here. Let me pick it up. See if it gives me any more than that. Show that to you there. Port cask finish, an elegant and sophisticated single malt Irish whiskey. Silky sweet taste of rich fruits. I want to put a slightly finer point on it. Mostly dark fruits. I personally get some dark cherry. You might find some overripe plum in there as well. You may find some date and or fig. That really depends on you and your taste bud. As I said, ad nauseum at this point, you're not going to taste things you don't know. Honey and spice. Hey, you get those nice honey and heather notes that most Irish whiskeys tend to impart. Elegant, lingering oak finish. Yes, but it is light. The oak finish, it is very light. Just a hint of spice. As with most Irish whiskeys you kind of just get that kiss of oak. There are some exceptions, obviously, but most are very light in that regard. If you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to put them on the screen if you would like. East Coast reviews. Cheers. Slancha, right back at you. Yeah, like I said, if you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to post it up there. If anybody would ever like to be part of the video at any time, and I'll send you the link, typically via Messenger. Make sure everything's working here. There we go. Yep, everything's out. Okay, let me set that back down. Let me finish this whiskey up. Well, I just did the one Irish, and I've got an American whiskey to share with you. A rested corn whiskey, if you will. Yeah, get a little bit of dark cherry, a little bit of overripe plum. Certainly feel that honey that they mentioned. Kiss of oak, light spice. Feeling more allspice than I am cinnamon, and just the slightest notion of ginger. I hate when I say pretentious things like that, but sometimes there just isn't another way to describe. Just the idea of just the slightest notion. Anyway, I digress. Mercy. Hold on, folks. Need to check something briefly. Shane, how are you, buddy? I'm going to post your comment, my friend. Need to check something real fast. Anyways, yeah, I want to check that real quick. I had a message come in. I just wanted to look at. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Cheers, Tom. Cheers, Tanner. Slancha. Hey, appreciate you watching, Shane. Like I said, every question or comments, always put it up there. As I get ready to finish this one off, and I'll go to product number 2 here. That's absolutely delicious. Anyway, I've got a beer here. I didn't buy any Irish stuff this year. I didn't buy the Guinness. I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it. But the brewery I work for, Banter Brewing, does this great Irish ale. I remember they did it last year and it was incredible, and it almost tastes better this year, although my memory could be playing tricks on me. But this year's version is just incredible. Malty, but not too sweet, and just perfectly herbal and earthy in the finish. This beer is just damn near. I mean, wow, it's just damn near perfect. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to take a sip in between whiskeys here. So the whiskey that I have now, I know the bottle is empty, but the whiskey isn't. I have it in a decanter here that I'm going to show you, but I wanted to show you the whiskey. This is Pinckney Band. This is a Rested American whiskey at 100 proof, but this is 100% corn whiskey. Shane says, have you ever tried Powers or Patty? Yes, I have. It's, in all honesty, it's been a while since I've had either. But I don't typically buy a lot of the regular blends. I kind of look for the special stuff. My daughter got me this decanter that really describes her dad about perfectly. So I decanted that whiskey. So you see, I still have a pretty good amount left, but I wanted to show you that decanter. And in my Pinckney Bend tasting glass, I did a tasting back in, well, gosh, it's been almost a year now. Gosh, it doesn't seem like it, but wow. About a year ago, I was, it was in April of last year, I should say. I was invited down to a private tasting for Deep Sleep Brewing. They don't have a brewery, they're a production brewery. They don't have a tasting room per se, but I was invited down to taste some things, and man, it was incredible. But we had some time to kill before, and so I did the tour at Pinckney Bend. Damn, that was a lot of fun. Bought a few products. This product is interesting. It's very nutty on the nose, and I feel like every time I buy a bottle, it tastes different. It doesn't necessarily say single barrel, but I feel like everything it's always a little bit different. I'm just getting a little pecan on the nose, little toasted pecan. It's not as sweet as you'd expect a whiskey to be, and I think sometimes it is about the barrel. A delightful little whiskey. Yeah, I mean, you could do something with it if you want to. If you want to put it on ice, sure, why not? It's 100 proof. If you want to drop just a little bit of water in, that would be okay too. If you want to, I wouldn't highball it. I don't feel like it's a highball whiskey, but I feel like it would lend itself well to a cocktail, depending on the cocktail. It's not as sweet. Again, it's not as sweet as you might expect. But yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to old fashioned it or even do a version of a Manhattan with it. In all honesty, but I mean, for me, it is absolutely delectable. Neat. You said delectable twice now, Tom. Yeah, I kind of stuck on there. Sometimes I get stuck on that too. Anyways, lunch. I got there right as they opened Pygmy Bend, so I got actually a private tour because they usually wait. They only do tours at specific times. The idea is to line folks up and do several at once. But I was the only one there because I got there right as they opened. So I had this nice private tour, and the kid was just good. He was rather generous with the samples, I will say. He really was. So because it was so enjoyable, I did buy a lot of products there. Unfortunately, I drank them all. But I did get them back in April. In my defense, I did buy several things, but it was just enjoyable. Deep Sleep Brew, that man, those guys got some chops. I'm looking forward to when they really break out because I think it's going to happen any moment now. Oh, yeah, being a corn whiskey, a lot of corn whiskeys are very sweet, and maybe it's the way it is rested or the barrels that they use. But this one is just comes off perfect. I feel like I'm getting just the slightest. And I mentioned some pecan nuts. I feel like I'm getting just the slightest bit of maple in there as well. I'm gonna set that down for a second and work on this beer for a hot second. Yeah, like I said, originally I was setting up the video. I just got the confirmation from the guest, and I was setting up the video when the message came in from my boss on Tuesday asking me if I would switch and work today instead of Thursday. So, okay, I will. Again, there just wasn't a good excuse not to. We're a small operation, so we all kind of help each other out. So if she needed the day, if you need to switch, I didn't mind. I wanted to try to set it for tomorrow, but the guest wasn't available for tomorrow. So hopefully we'll do it next week. And again, I thought about doing one tomorrow anyway, but it was a little late to line up a guest. That and I've got a friend debuting in their show tomorrow that I've been asked to be a guest on. So we'll just do that this week, and hopefully next week I can get my At the Pub rocking again. And again, the At the Pub show isn't just about the beer and or whiskey. It's at the pub, so you're having a conversation. It's meant to be just an organic conversation between me and whoever the guest is. We may have kicked around a couple topics in advance, but nothing is scripted. And in the past, I've had several beer whiskey guys. I've had renowned whiskey and beer writer Lou Bryson on. Had Marty Nate, renowned beer writer, known for craft beer for dummies. Marty Nachel on. That was a real thrill. And then a couple blues legends and friends of mine, both had been national touring acts. Scott Ellison and Rockin' Jake Jacobs. Those two shows were just a blast for me. And then an old friend, another blues, or where he sees himself more as Americana, Scott Keaton out of Oklahoma as well. And then I had one of my guests last year was a former top 10 heavyweight boxing contender, Travis Kaufman. That was an interesting show. So I'm looking forward to get it going again, lining up, different guests. Because, like I said, it's not just about the beer and whiskey. It's about meeting a friend at the pub and having a conversation. So I had a lot of local musicians last year as well. Barrick Hill, Christy Meredith. Gosh, I know there was another one now, and I'm drawing a blank. Brandon Moore, gosh, I almost forgot you, Brandon. Brandon, who's also a distiller, musician and distiller. So I'm trying to get a few more lined up. just like I said, I love talking to the beer and whiskey guys, but I also want to get some other folks on there. I love the sports folks, the musicians, especially because I'm a music guy at heart, so I love being able to do that. Anyway, Sláinte, as I work back this Pinckney Bend. Yeah, I don't remember those pecan notes before. Yeah, give these nice pecan, like I said, a little hint of maple. Not really picking up any fruit notes here. I don't feel like it's that kind of whiskey. A lot of oak in the finish. Just again, very light on the spice, but it's there. Maybe just a hint of cinnamon, some allspice, just a little bit of nutmeg, maybe. So anyway, as I wrap up this whiskey, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, per rare wisdom man. Man, this version of an Irish ale is just freaking gorgeous. I'm telling you, this beer is great. Not as sweet as many of them that I've had, which is one reason I really like it. I love those herbal notes, finishes a little earthy. Ah, it's just a gorgeous beer, man. I'm so lucky to be a part of that brewery. anyways, I digress. Oh, one more time, a feeling I am Tom, the beer whisperer, as well, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, per rare wisdom, man. Cheese biscuits and gravy all around. Good guy, Sláinte. Oh, excuse me.